when I'm fucking high. My whole crew like the sun, cause we on the rise. So don't you dare compare us with them other guys. My Johnny got depth, your girl says I'm Mordecai. And 4 out of 5.
Your host Janie Dub, and this is Back to the 900. I'm out here in the sticks with my good old cousin Mr.Whoop 2300. What's the deal, cuzzo?
Shit, what's going on, man?
Man, you know, long time waiting. I mean, you don't live too close to make it that easy. Hey, it happened. It was gonna happen either way, because when you came to town, I was gonna just link up with you before anything anyway. So.
Oh, for sure, you know.
So, with everything you got going on, especially with all the music you've been dropping recently, how did you get into wanting to do music?
I've always been a fan of music. You know, music that's been my thing for a minute. Uh, it actually went through a bunch of different phases. Really, I was young when I was younger. I had a cousin that DJs. You know, so he got me into DJing when I was young.
Shout out Slick, man.
Yeah, shout out DJ Slick 310. Uh, yeah, he got me into DJing when I was younger, and it was fun. You know, I experimented with that for a little while, and then I realized, like, man, that's not the way I want to control the crowd. You know,
Yeah.
I want to be more interactive with the crowd than being stuck behind the ones and twos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it was fun, but that's just, you know what I
It
mean? That
made you
wasn't
fall in love with the other shit.
the other stuff on top of making music. But like I always freestyled and stuff
Yeah.
growing up, like to myself in the room. You know, wrote music or whatever. Yeah, you know, they always threw that shit out, but.
Yeah.
And then too, like in them younger days, the way music was then, it wasn't.
Yeah, it isn't how it is
It's
now.
not how
that's
it
why
is now.
That's why I tell every artist I interview, and
Like a
I mean,
lot of
this is
the
the
stuff.
first artist interview I've done in maybe 6-8 months, and even now, like with BandLab, how you do it yourself, like that's not how we had to do it. We did it like similar. We were in closets, we were in bathtubs, we were in laundry mats, like, but we had to go to the studio, bro. Like we had to pay for the programs. It wasn't free programs, nothing. I know people pay for BandLab too, but there's a lot of shit you can do on BandLab and not pay for shit either.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
So it's a whole different aspect, especially that these kids have it at their palm of their iPhone, that they just really need iPhone
Yeah, but even with
headphones.
BandLab, like nothing wrong with BandLab, but I mean, I use BandLab for most of my shit too. You know, and you got to know the format of how you want to how you got to lay down your tracks and your music for it to come out
Yeah,
radio quality
or
or
Chris.
crisp. You know, a lot of kids just think, oh, let me sing the hook, let me sing the verse, and we're done. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of them don't know about ad libs. They don't know about fucking doubles, in and outs,
Yeah.
this and that. And let alone that when you do tell them and try to put them on game, they're like, they're too lazy to do it. They already said what they had to say. They don't
Yeah.
want to do the extra work. You
They
know, and
already
that's what.
they already put out the music, so they're not really
Yeah,
tripping.
and they want
And
it to go
especially
viral. For them, it's
especially
just a
at
quick
this
go
point
viral.
in time in music, a lot of like, I mean, hood rappers and shit like that, their shit doesn't sound mixed and mastered. It literally sounds like they did
threw
it
it
on
together.
BandLab and just said, "Fuck it, here you go." Even though a lot of them have the money to be inside a real studio and do
Yeah.
the real way, but I mean, everybody wants to take a shortcut.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, nowadays it's just how can I go viral fast?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? They just want to go viral and make it famous and think that everything is about being viral. You know what I mean? You got to have a passion. You got to want
well,
to love what you
that
do.
I think that comes in with like when they see like people getting famous like Crip Mac, people getting famous like Lefty. Like, don't get me wrong, I do fuck with some of Lefty's music, not all of it, but it's a shock. It's a shock value.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you can give the shock value, you can be different than everybody else. Like, you're gonna be famous. Like half these TikTokers, bro. Like, both the Paul brothers, you wouldn't think those fools would be
Oh, no.
multi-billionaire millionaires, like running Prime, running
Yeah.
boxing, but they had the shock value. They did some dumb shit and they had to own up to it in the past, but as of now, look where it got them. So I mean, the shock value is always great, but like they say, all publicity ain't great publicity, but sometimes it is, bro. Like the haters, what do they say? If you don't have a hater, you ain't doing shit right.
Exactly.
So, and I mean, at this point, you know, being from Wilmington, and you know, your name says it all. 2,300 boys, Mr. Whoop, like, but there's not too many of you guys that really do music out there. There's a lot, but there's not many.
No, yeah,
Especially coming how you've been releasing. Like it's not the same.
it's
Like
consistency.
shout out to the only other rapper I can say from Wilmington that I can say has been consistent throughout it all is Illy. And shout out to Illy Smokes, but that he's the only one really
Uh
from that city that I
from the city,
remember.
yeah,
Yeah.
in general,
Yeah, in
in
general.
a general aspect from the city, yeah, from my side of the city, there's a couple of them. There's a couple of us, you know what I mean? Um, but it's consistency, bro. If they, you know what I mean, and it's all about for views. You know, a lot of people get discouraged. You don't get the views that you're expecting. You know what I mean? Especially in it to me, that just what drives me even more. Is like, okay, I don't got these views that I want. You know what I mean? But at the
Yeah.
same time, I got to understand the marketing and the promotion value of it.
And I
You
think
know what I
that's
mean?
where I started to realize like I did the music shit for a while and I've been around a gang of people that done music. I have homeboys that been signed, I got homeboys that are signed now and it's all about and then doing this, like, bro, when you're over here just trying to be on Instagram just to be, you know,
The
hey,
viral
like
sensation.
it's not the same as when you're trying to do something and it's a company, like as in with the podcast, like it's all promotion. Like depending on not everybody's gonna hit, you know, 1 million views, 1,000 views. Like you might get a couple hundred and you might get 60, 80 views. But at the same time that that gives you the motivation to keep going. Like,
Well, yeah,
and I think that's what these kids don't get is because a lot of these kids, and I've said it, you see me when I went live on the crash out, like they feel entitled to shit. And
yeah.
that's not what it is anymore. Like you really got to earn your stake. But then when you have people that get famous, like a Lefty or like a Crip Mac or like that, like it shows them kids like, well, all they do is fucking talk out their ass, and
Yeah.
I mean,
But see that too, like coming from where we come from, we don't
yeah,
have those type of outlets. Like they're
no,
closer to downtown. You know what I mean?
yeah,
They have that's all around them. But even like in the older days, like like before we started doing music and got into it, like the people we listened to, Ice Cube, N.W.A.,
yeah.
Eazy, all of them, where were they? They weren't in downtown L.A.
Mm.
recording their shit.
Torrance actually,
They were coming from Torrance,
yeah,
right down the street where we
yeah.
freaking grew up from. You know what I
I
mean?
didn't
So
realize that until I really looked into it after I watched the NWA movie and they said Torrance, California, and I looked into it that
and
they
then a lot
really
of it
did that
too,
first
like
album
I
in
don't.
Torrance.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of it too. What helped in our general areas of where we grew, me and you grew up, Pedro, Wilmington. You know what I mean? What helped that out was their engineer.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say his name because I don't agree with that, and there's a lot of questions up in there. But if you know NWA and who mixed and engineered their shit and helped get Yella and all of them, then you know who I'm talking about. You know what I mean? And he's from Wilmington. He's a Wilmington native.
yeah,
You know what I mean? He's a DJ from Wilmington that helped get them booming.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So with that, it's like they know about us, but
And
they don't go
I
out the
think it's
way
the
to
same.
come.
I think it's the same. Wilmington and Pedro, like they're staples from Wilmington that they know
Yeah,
about. Like right now, I mean, we got Rimble, staple as a motherfucker. Biggest thing, big one of the biggest artists out of LA right now. He's from Pedro,
well, like
but they don't want to believe that these people is from Wilmington or Pedro because they were at the edge of the border,
exactly,
and
and
that's it.
well, just
But
like
they got to put some name on respect because you guys wouldn't be getting fed or getting clothed if it wasn't for that goddamn harbor.
yeah, exactly, exactly. But a lot of people misconstrue it too because they're like, oh, all of them down there are longshoremen, or all of them are this.
They
They
feel we're
they
entitled.
feel we're entitled.
Yeah,
They don't see the other aspect of how actually
we
gutter and how hard
and
it
we
is for us
living
to
in how the
come up.
streets are.
Just cause they're longshoremen's and they get money, half of them motherfuckers don't want. They're not gonna. They don't want it. If
And
it's not
half
gonna
of them,
benefit them, they're not
and
gonna do nothing
most
for
of them
you.
aren't longshoremen. Like especially in Wilmington,
But
like
that's what we get known for is,
yeah,
oh, the Port of LA,
yeah.
y'all this or y'all that. You know what I mean? Like, motherfucker, just because your fucking dad, uncle, mom is a longshoreman don't mean,
It made all of us rich. Like
yeah, well, it don't make us all
not
rich,
even rich, but like
but you
you
think
know,
about it, yeah, we're minority cities. Yeah, we have good jobs, but the cost of living where we live right there is not cheap,
No, not at all.
and it's a poor. I mean,
And that's why, bro,
it,
like where we're at, bro, like that's why people end up moving out of the city, bro. It's just
yeah,
not cheap, and at the end of the day, bro. And I tell everybody that comes and sits down with me, I don't care if you gangbang, I don't care where you from, color, flag you wear, what color you are. You be purple, brown, yellow. I don't give a fuck. Gay, straight, don't matter. Your city don't. You can say your city love you. You can believe that, but your city don't love
they don't
you.
love you, bro. They want you to be
They
where
want
they're
you to
at.
be stereotyped just like the rest of them.
Yep.
They want you to be there. They want you to be sat down and, oh yeah, you need to grow up and live in Pedro and die in Pedro, or
And
you need to
that's
die in
what
Wilmington. Like that's not what it's about.
opened my eyes to a lot of it too. You know what I mean? Is like I said, when I first started doing music, I didn't drop music. I was more of a freestyle artist, do it when we're drinking, having fun. And for the longest, I had like certain family members that are I mean, they're my homies, but they're my blood cousins, you know what I mean? Or my blood family. And, they'll tell me to rap and I'll sit there and rap for hours and they're like, fuck, shut up already. You've been going at it for an hour,
Well,
two
don't tell
hours.
me to
Like,
start.
yeah. And then now, like, they're like, now that I've been dropping music for the past 2 or 3 years, whatever, getting like trying to put my foot in the cement with this music shit is like, they're like, that shit is hard. Like,
Yeah,
you getting more, I get more love now than I did when I was trying to come up. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't know this too, but I'm gonna shout out to homie Young Lucky, you know what I mean? Because he's been doing rap longer than me, seriously, but off and on, you know what I mean? And one of his first shows, he opened for Nip. Rest in peace, Nip. You know what I mean? He opened for Nip at I believe it was the Observatory.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And then he got busted, whatever. Not to tell his story, I don't know, you know what I mean? But that helped bring a little more motivation to certain people in the city.
yeah,
I I mean, me and Luck always been cool. That's my dog.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But even now, when I talk to him, it's like, nigga, that shit's hard. Like, you know what I mean? That's
But
this, that's that.
I mean, I know it's not the best time for you in your music career and shit that's about to happen, but I mean, from what it looks and from what you showed me, and you're always telling me, like, you got enough in that catalog that's gonna last for that little vacation.
Yeah, I mean and that's why I've been working so hard. You know what I mean? Is I have I have a right now I have an advantage over a lot of artists. You know what I mean? I'm secluded away from a lot of people, so I'm not getting into antics and bullshit over
And
there.
you don't. I mean, you
Um,
can't be out anyway. So
but I got I built a booth. You know what I
yeah,
mean? That's like damn near a legit booth. You know what I mean? So I can get top quality or the best quality that I can get while I'm doing it here. And I mix. There's some tracks that I send out to get mixed, but I'm not like 8 times out of 10, I'm mixing my own shit right here. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
had to learn a lot of it because I'm looking at it like I can't just go with an engineer or I can't just have an engineer come over there. You know what I mean? They be like, what? You know what I mean? So I
yeah.
got to do it myself the way I do it, and I'll send it to certain people and like, man, how's it sound? You know what I mean? Like, and that shit sounds good. Like I had one engineer, I sent him something and he was like, that shit sounds great, bro. Like, what do you need me to
You don't
do?
need me to do shit.
But then I have one, he's like, it sounds great, but if you send it to me, I'll make it sound better. And I'm like, why the fuck am I sounding? How you
Well,
gonna make it sound better?
that just makes it sound like you want the money at that
Yeah,
point.
in
Like,
my point, in my
yeah,
that exactly, in my point of view, in my point of eyes, is like, if it sounds great, how you gonna make it sound better?
yeah. If you're telling me it's great, then what's
What are
above
you gonna do
what's
that I
above
didn't do?
great? Like
Yeah. What do you?
excellent? Like
Yeah. What are
you
you
want
gonna do
that?
that I didn't
Yeah,
do that's gonna make it sound
you
better?
want that extra pedestal? Is crazy. But who are some of your influences when you get in the booth and when you start writing your rhymes and you hear a beat? Like what artists influenced you to do music, or not even artists? What people influence you besides?
Really, just my biggest motivation or influence is just it's really for this like for the city before the whole harbor area. We don't get our recognition. You know what I mean? So if I could come out to get something to put us on the map more than just being the port of Los Angeles or whatever, then that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I'm tired of us always getting overlooked. You know what I mean? And that's not just with music. That's with everything. Football, sports. academics, everything. You know, we get overlooked for a
And I
lot of it,
think
and they just come back to show us the shine of how bad the cities are where we come from.
and I think how like now, especially with the sports, I think Pedro and Wilmington get a lot more recognition. But bro, we've had stars playing both, both football teams, basketball teams, and baseball teams. That didn't get no light because same shit, bro. Oh, they're from Pedro and Wilmington.
Yeah, nah,
It's okay, but
exactly.
it's okay for kids to play more.
Yeah,
And
Compton,
everything.
fucking.
They get a lot of clout. And honestly, bro, that's why I told you when I started this. That's honestly which way unplug myself. You're yeah.
You just hit the mute button.
Oh yeah, there we go. But like I was saying, like I started making this podcasting, you know, this platform because just like an artist like you, just like the artists on my record label, like it was for people and younger artists that don't get the clout, don't get the content, don't get the platform to have a voice. And same thing, bro. If it puts the city on the map, it is what it is. But like nobody really knows where I'm at when I recorded this shit
Yeah,
because there's no reason for you if you ain't an artist and you not somebody that's trying to better yourself or entrepreneur or something like that. There's no reason for you to know where I'm at.
yeah, no, of
And
course.
then that's the thing too is I just want to put the city on the map. Like, and that's one thing when I talk to Rembo, he preaches on the most. Like, we're trying to put Pedro on the map. We want them to know the harbor area is what it is, and it that divide between both cities too is always that's what makes it the worst. And people look at it as like they're right next to each other. Why can't they get along? Yeah, well, you guys don't know the deep down end of the stories of a lot of that shit.
Yeah, they see the well, they see the surface, but at
Yeah,
the end of the day, they don't. If yeah, we're close cities, we're right next door. Why can't we get along? But behind what you guys see on the surface, there's a lot of people like, for instance, me and you, we're related.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's not like they don't get along. It's certain things that you gotta abide by. You know what I
yeah.
mean? That is like, okay, I can't just always go there because that's or whatever. I got people. There's other things that got that
They're deeper
that
ties, which I mean, we don't got to speak about.
yeah.
Everybody that knows anything knows the situation, and that's the crazy thing is
And a
like
lot of it
a lot of people are related, bro.
we're all related, whether it's my blood cousin or it's through marriage or
Mm,
their kids are my godchildren or vice versa. You know what I mean? We're intertwined deeper than what you guys see on the surface.
yeah,
You
and
know
I
what I
think
mean?
that's where people get shit mixed up when it comes to the Pedro woman. 95% of people in Pedro have somebody or family members that are from Wilmington or live in Wilmington.
Or
So
vice versa.
yeah,
And a lot of the time too is some of them don't live in Wilmington. Yeah, they're from Wilmington, but they live in Pedro or
yeah,
they live in Carson or
yeah,
Long Beach or whatever. You know what I mean?
and I
But their
think
heart is in
yeah,
Wilmington. You know
yeah,
what I
and I
mean?
think that's what all matters because like how we said, people want people to stay like idled in the same city for the rest of their lives, and they don't understand that you can love your city to death of you. I got it tatted. You got
Your
it. You got it tatted. Like it's with us. It's
your
ingrained in
city
us.
is gonna you won't elevate until you leave your city.
Yeah,
If you are still in the city, you're
and
gonna
just
be trapped in your city, and you won't elevate for the better until you get away from that because you know where you can go, you know where you can't go, but you know where you're comfortable. So when times get rough or whatever, and you're going through, sometimes you're gonna fall back to old habits.
yeah,
When you're away from that, you can't, or you live far from right there, it's gonna be harder for you to fall into them old habits because you don't know where to go to get whatever you need to get to try to get up out the mud.
yeah, and that's the scary part is people don't like
That's
they don't
just
understand, bro. Like
yeah,
it's
that's
just
just how
wild.
easy it is to fall back if
Yeah,
you stay in the city or
like
wherever you're
your
from
city, bro.
or area. Just
At
not
the
even
end of
your
the
city,
day,
it's your area.
for me and you, Wilmington raised you. That's what you know. Pedro raised me. That's all I know. But just because I'm moving or grooving and doing this and I'm out here doesn't mean I'm turning my back on the city. How people may think like, oh, these motherfuckers leave. They
They think
ain't
they
just
too
they're
good.
not from there. Like, bro, all hands to God to anybody that makes it. Like me, like the singer Miguel, born and raised in Pedro, lived in the projects. Just because he turned his back and he's who he is and global star that he is, bro, he came back and did a show at the Warner Grand. He gave you guys that.
Yep.
He showed love. He showed love to man on stage. He shouted out Alfredo Carlin is exactly what he said.
Sheesh.
She like it's not turning your back. It's you bettered yourself. The city's always going to be ingrained in you. Doesn't mean you got to stay there.
Exactly.
There's no time for idolation, especially in music. Like the more I'm getting into the management side and getting these calls and doing these phone calls and text messages with different, entertainment and different spots that have concerts and throw performances, like, bro, you have to leave because I'm not gonna have all my artists performing. No pun intended to you guys, but I'm not gonna be at El Principal and Pedro having a performance. Like I love the city, but there's better ways to do it and better ways to put on for the city than keeping it in the city. Because at the end of the day, bro, the city don't let you anyway. So like, if we throw a show, they might not all show up. But then
No, but
that's why people
but if
don't
they
like
do
it.
show up too, you
Yeah,
gotta think. You gotta also take an accountability. What's gonna happen after the show?
yeah, and that's why we have Bone again. We had Bone Thugs. We're supposed to perform at the Warner Grand. These niggas started a whole full on rumble before Bone Thugs even got in the motherfucking vicinity.
Exactly.
It's shit like that, and especially like with the new Harbor move in Pedro. Like I tell people all the time, you guys think that's great? Y'all think everybody from the same cities is gonna be over there when they open? You think nothing's gonna happen? That shit's gonna be like the Pike. It's gonna be like
You
when
might as well make it a cemetery.
yeah, cause bro, I told somebody a couple weeks ago, like when the Lama Mall opened and they opened the outside and they opened that movie theater, nigga, 3 people got killed the same day.
Yeah.
Like it's not. They don't think like I get it. L.A. We're supposed to be dangerous city and that whatnot, but it's all how you move too. If you put yourself in predicaments like that, that's your fault. But I, I I'm not for the whole port redo because it just seems like you said it's gonna be a fucking cemetery.
You might as well just call it
There's gonna be
the,
enemies running into each other left and right.
all day. I mean, and that's what it is. I mean, it's
And I mean,
cool.
you can
It
go
looks
do it
nice.
at the Pike too, but I mean, what's the chances you really gonna run into somebody at the Pike?
I mean,
Like,
it happens all the
yeah,
time. It happens all the time. You know,
mm,
it's just there's also a police station right there. I mean, and don't get me wrong, there's a police station right there too by the.
yeah, by the
But
port.
shit still happens in the projects.
Mm-hmm.
Don't nobody give a fuck about the police station.
Mm.
It don't matter. And I've said it my whole life too. And I've said it when I got older. For my city in particular, it's gonna get the way it was when Wilmington had the actual projects. And I'm not talking about like gated projects that are there now.
No, I remember.
I'm talking about the Dana Strand projects. Like,
That's where I used to go get my $20 ounce of stress once a day.
you know what I mean? Like I said it's gonna make a full
Don't judge me
circle.
for saying I smoke stress, motherfuckers. Everybody did back then.
Shit, you did. Not me.
Hey, by the time you were able to smoke weed, it was good weed.
I was smoking when I was 8 years old. Kid, don't forget.
I was 13, so yeah. True, true, true.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you can't go wrong with a bag of stress for $20. Though.
But
That was a
when I
long day.
started smoking, we had chronic.
Yeah,
So
that wasn't
I
that
went
great
from
either.
chronic to Kush
Yeah.
to where we at now. And I ain't don't get me. I don't smoke no more. I ain't smoked in like 3 years.
I
But
drank it too, but I took a shot last night.
I mean that's that. But back to the question like you asked, like so my influence, like yeah, my city and my area. That's what influences me the most. But when it comes to music and music wise, like you know, you got DJ Quick, NWA, Too Short, Sugar Free, Ice Cube, High C, Celly Cell. I mean, all it's pretty much a lot of the '90s gangster rap
Is
that comes to mind
is
that
there
has a big
any is
influence.
there anybody from your city that influences you though too as well?
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm from my city. Yeah, Lawless Click. They, we grew up listening to them. You know what I mean? So shout out to Lawless Click and them. You know what I mean? But besides that, and like the homie Luck. But then you got the upcoming artists too, like my cousin Kegs.
Yeah.
You know, besides like I said, Lucky. I remember when I first found out the homie Lucky was doing music and he was rolling with D Street Mob. You know what I mean? That was not what who they were before it was. And correct, I could be wrong, you know what I mean, but that's what I remember them before I remember it as the squad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you got, well, like, Hood and fucking, there's a couple of us coming
Yeah,
up.
Hood's nice.
You know what I mean? There's a couple of us coming up from the city right now that's making noise or putting on for the city, you know what I mean?
And that's true. Like Pedro's always had rappers, but like Wilmington, you guys are really making a staple. Like, bro,
Oh, well,
That
it's my
Ox
fault.
Connect
Let me
too.
the homie Phantom 310, the homie Nevik, and you also got the homie Surso. I mean,
Yeah,
all of us grew up in the same, but we all got our own movements, but we're all still intertwined with each other. It's not
yeah.
like, oh, I got my shit going on, you got your shit going. Nah, we
And I
still
think
are in
that's the
contact with
first
each other.
time in music, especially now. And honestly, bro, I'm gonna it pans back to K Dot. All right, what K Dot did with the Drake thing, I think it made everybody that does music in the city, like even especially in our own cities, look like, hey man, we should all be working together to, even if it's not like we ain't on each other's asses about it. Like if we can work together, things can be a lot better, especially if we're trying to put on for different cities. Especially like what I'm doing with the Chasing the Dream. Like our thing is to put the city on, and they're all working together.
Yeah,
We get more artists hitting us up from the city. Hey, we want to work with you, and it's finally like, damn, you guys are understanding now. Like it's not just a one man band, bro. Like it doesn't take, like they say, it takes a village to raise a child. It's
yeah,
the same thing with music. It takes a village to get the fuck out. It's not gonna. You can get out by yourself, but any of these artists that ever been signed or anybody, they had help.
yeah.
They didn't do it themselves. Like you guys, people need to realize like help. Just to ask for help doesn't hurt.
Well, that too, but a lot of people coming up too, they want to keep the West Coast
Yeah,
sound. It's okay if you get away from the West Coast sound. You're gonna have a West Coast flow regardless because of who you grew up listening to on the
yeah,
West Coast.
yeah. I mean,
You just gotta know how to find your cadence.
yeah,
And you gotta be like Bruce Lee says, you gotta be able to flow like water. You know what I mean? You
yeah,
you gotta be able to adapt to whatever comes your way. You know what I mean? You put water in a bowl, it's gonna be the bowl. You know what I mean? You put water in a glass, it becomes a glass. You gotta be able to make it bend and mold and
yeah.
just be a piece of clay. You know what I mean? Just you gotta go with what it is.
You
And
can't
that's
be a
a
robot.
exactly, and that's where it comes. Like I got certain beats that come from a producer that tapped in with me from Brazil. I got certain beats that come from up north in the Bay. You know what I mean? That comes from engineers up there. I got I got three engineers that I rock with. You know what I mean? One's from the Bay, one's from Brazil, and I don't know where the other one's from, but I don't really you know what I mean? I don't but I go off of what I know. I'm not gonna be like some of these artists. They're like, oh, I got 3,000 songs in the vault. How many of those are actually gonna be bangers? How many of those are actually gonna?
How many of those
You're
are
not
gonna
just
see?
talk. Well, yeah. Are you gonna see? Or I'm not gonna sit there and sit in a booth and write some bullshit because it sounds tight over a song, over a beat.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Everything that I write is, or I rap is either what I lived through, what I seen growing up, or whatever. You know what I mean? Or you know what I mean? What period? You know what I mean? It's not. It's not always about you.
No, it's not.
And that's where a lot of people is like, oh, I this, and all their songs is like, nah, you capping,
Yeah.
you capping, bro. You doing it to make yourself look good rather than make the city or make the area look good. So what? And that's what got me veered away from now with the newer drops that I got going on are different styles.
Especially, yeah, and that the your newest one, not the one you dropped last night, the one you dropped before. Not even Slick was playing live on his shit. Like
Oh yeah, the I've been waiting.
that's a whole different sound. And even I played it for a gang of people, and they're like, "Damn!" I was like, I mean, you switched it up. You really and you. I mean, you told me that you were trying to get away from doing the hood shit. Like you
And
needed more of the other.
it's not a fact of getting away from the hood shit.
But it's
It's
being versatile enough to do everything.
exactly it's
Because
being
like,
versatile because I can wake up out my sleep and make a hood song.
mm,
That's what I know my whole life. It's easy to do that.
but I think that's like same thing with Lefty. Lefty just dropped Heaven Above and he used that. God sent me an angel.
So like
Uh,
no disrespect that way, but he could have did that a whole lot better.
Yeah, no,
He
he
could
could
have
have.
rode the beat
He
better
could,
than that.
yeah.
You know what
But
I
I
mean?
think that he's in his what the way I looked at Lefty.
He's in a transition stage right now.
Yeah, but I look at Lefty as like a Blueface. Like Blueface's music. They people love Blueface's music, but Blueface has never been on rhythm, on cadence, on nothing. He just raps and he puts some nifty shit, fucking little fucking shit that you got to think about together, and people fuck with it. And I think that's where Lefty's at too. Like he don't give a fuck. He thinks he sounds good on anything, any which way his
And that's
cadence
what
is.
gets him where he gets to is it's the confidence behind him.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You gotta have the
and
confidence behind it.
bro, and he looked like anytime I've seen him or watched him live or watch a performance or a music video, he believes he's the best.
And
And
that's
then
what
that's
you
what you
gotta
should
do.
do. Yeah.
That's what you gotta do. You know what I mean? If you look good, you feel good, you're gonna be good.
Yeah, because I watched a gang of his
But a lot of
interviews.
those, like I said, a lot of those artists too is they have the platforms all around them
Yeah,
to help blow them
and
up.
camp.
We
We're
we
trying to build this
we're
ourselves.
building it from the ground up. Yeah, we have certain spots that can help us, but a lot of them don't want to help us because of where we're from
Or who we are.
or what we represent.
Yeah.
And instead of giving us that chance to do it, they shun us off or shine us down or downplay it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, that's for damn sure. Because they downplay the shit out of Pedro music and Wilmington music and I mean just the city in general, bro.
That, but then they also screw us over with bullshit record deals.
No, yeah.
And then they steal what we got our ideas and give it
And
to the next artist.
that's where Nip tried to show and change everybody's
Oh,
mind.
he didn't try. He showed
No, he
everybody.
did.
He placed the
But I'm
blueprint
saying
down
not
for
as in
everybody.
he tried. He like that's what he was preaching when he left. Like he tried to preach to everybody like, fuck a record deal, do this yourself, keep
Yeah,
your masters. Like, bro, Lauren London and those kids are made for the rest of their lives because he owned his masters.
yeah,
Look at Black Sam opening the burger place. Gonna open
exactly.
another one. They just said he's on Forbes at 8.2 million.
Yeah,
And he went from being, hey Nip, let's open up a t-shirt store. Bro, they started from a fucking pro club store,
yeah,
like a normal one we see in the hood, like, and then they started the marathon, and then look, bro, look where they are now. I know, God sent, like, it sucks what happened with Nip. Rest in peace, Nip, forever. But it's
yeah.
just,
Straight up, rest in peace, Nip.
but I'm glad, like, not glad that, but it's more comforting to hear that those kids are gonna be, and Lauren and Black Sam and the family's gonna be taken care of because he was a hustler that said, "Fuck all this
But
other shit.
you know
I'm
what
gonna do
else
this."
also helped a lot of people believe in themselves too is the pandemic.
That also was, but
That
it also fucked people up because all that fucking free money they thought
you're
they were
right,
gonna
but
be able to live that lifestyle for the rest of their lives.
that too. But the less degenerate like us, you know what I mean?
Pandemic was also, bro. It was good, but I think that's where it made kids feel more separable. That's
Well,
why
that
like
but
this band lab shit
I'm
works.
I'm just talking about, for instance, like it made a lot of it made it back like how it was growing up where there was a lot of mom and pop shops.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It made people believe in themselves a little bit more, like, because a lot of people lost their jobs, they couldn't go to work, whatever. So they're like, how else can I keep the same type of lifestyle, this type of money, and
And
the
be
money
okay.
and be okay? So they got the money from the pandemic and made small businesses,
Yeah.
and that's why a lot of small businesses are now getting their recognition and stuff now, and a lot with the music too. A lot of people that whatever they, whether it was reels, TikToks, whatever the
And I
case
think
may
that's
be,
where all podcasts became more
success.
known for and successful because we're at home, bro. Like, don't get me wrong, Netflix, you got HBO, man, all that shit, but
You
bro,
run
you
through
get
those
through that
shows, you
shit
get
quick, and
tired of
then
that shit.
for me, I was having like anxiety and shit, and that's what helped me get over it was watching podcasts because I'm over here laughing at. Shout out to homie AD and community world, even though he was at no jumper, fuck no jumper, but they helped me get through some times that I was really going through it, bro. And it was podcast because you're just sitting there listening to
I
just like
mean,
how we are, bro. We're just two.
I mean, yeah, you're right. The pandemic didn't keep me from being outside.
No, yeah,
I was outside. Fuck martial law. That's what I
yeah.
thought. That was
Well, I was getting drunk inside either way. I just wasn't. But I'm not an outside type person. You already know that. Like me, I don't. I used to be. I used to be in the club all the time, but now I'm an old man, man. I've been in the
shit. I don't give a fuck how old I am. I'm gonna be outside.
club. Well, with that, like on that point, like how much music do you have? Can you say that you have ready before you go sit down?
So at the moment, there's 21 out. I got 21 tracks out, all singles. Um, I probably got enough to put an 8-track out EP with what you guys haven't heard yet and what's still being worked on. But you, I'm not gonna drop an EP. I think before when I go, I'll drop. I'm gonna try to drop a lot of those out of those 8 that I have right now. I'm gonna drop probably half of them before I go. Maybe, you know what I mean?
Hopefully,
Maybe, maybe. Uh, but there'll be still songs being dropped while I'm gone. You know what I mean? That y'all haven't heard yet. But I'm not gonna drop an EP. I'm not. I'm not. That's not even
you're
in
gonna
my
wait until you
train
get
of
home.
thought. Huh?
You're just gonna wait till you get home.
Well, when I get home, I anticipate dropping an album.
I mean,
I got enough beats saved up from now that I got, and I own all my beats. Every beat I got all exclusive rights to, and that's what a lot of these other artists do. They're leasing beats
or not even YouTube.
or YouTubing it. You know what I mean? And that's the game that's the game we share in my city. You know what I mean? It's like don't lease beats, bro. If you lease them, and then when you get the money and or you talk to the engineer, make sure you can pay the difference to get the exclusive rights.
And that's why I tell everybody now, like, shout out to the homie YE. Everybody on Chasing the Dream. I told them like for mixtapes and like little
Oh
like
yeah, if you're gonna
EPs,
do
you could
EPs, you can do
do
beats too.
other beats and shit like that. But when it comes to doing an album, it has to be original beats because you can't post a lot of shit on TikTok
Well,
with
even
original with other people's beats because they'll flag the shit out you quick.
exactly that, and a lot of those YouTube beats they say free for profit, but if you read the small print or whatever, it's like after so many streams, they're coming for you.
Hmm.
So if you blow up off a free for profit beat,
They're gonna want their back
you
end.
only got three, probably like max 1,000 to 3,000 views that you can get. Once you start catching over that, they're coming for their money.
Yeah, they want
And now
they want something.
a beat that you could have got from the beginning, if you would have hit the engineer from the beginning, you could have got for
And
50.
95% of them got an online that you could just buy the beat from.
Yeah, and they range from 50 to 150, $200.
Yeah,
To where you blow up off of that later, they're gonna want a band or more.
yeah. And then
Or
at
and not
that,
even that, you could say 500 plus.
a lot of them will do. If you talk to the engineer right, they might hook you up with like 4 or 5 beats for that $200.
Yeah.
And so what's gonna benefit you more?
You might as well
Yeah.
snatch up 4 or 5 beats from that engineer than paying the 200 for one beat when you can get 3 or 4 beats from him.
Yeah, and then not have to worry about being copyrighted or nothing.
Nothing. And a lot of the shit, like me personally, what I do is like I'll buy the exclusive, you know what I mean? And sometimes the exclusive is expensive too.
No, yeah.
But I'll tell them to keep their tag. Just because I know it's gonna help them later. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And if I come to them later, I might get that exclusive. Maybe they might just throw me exclusive,
Yeah.
or they might say,
And
hey,
that's what
just give me
happens.
20 bucks.
I mean, that's what it is. It's still at the end of the day, it's business. Like if you
That's
come
why
with a
he
business mindset, especially shit we've done in our past, like it's the same. It's the same.
it's the
I
same
tell
shit.
everybody, if you saw weed before in your life, it's the same thing with music.
Yep.
You put your money in, you get back what you get. You spend you spend a little bit of the profit, and you keep what you made back.
That, and you gotta look at it like this. When you pick a beat that you're gonna buy an exclusive right to, this is what I go. This is how I do it. I like this beat. I fuck with it. If I make a song out of this, am I gonna get my money back?
Yeah,
If I get my money back from it, I'm happy. If I don't, cool, whatever.
but it's
It's a,
mine
but it's mine. And you can always
because they
take,
don't realize.
you could always take it down and re-drop it
But
later.
not even that. They don't even realize. Like, say you come home and that one you just dropped, it
Oh, that
blows.
motherfucker's going viral.
It blows up.
It's gonna
It
go
doesn't. It
viral.
doesn't matter, bro. You could come out, and if those people ain't remember that song
You
for
could
however long,
re-drop
you
it.
sitting down and you re-drop it, or you drop, like you said, none of these songs that you're dropping have music videos. So that's the best thing about it. You come home from vacation, you start shooting these music videos. That song's right back in the air, and then it's doubled to what it used to be because now they're gonna go download it because they don't want to go to YouTube every time they get in their car to listen to the music video and watch your video. They want to listen to the song, so then that's where it starts panning out, and that's why I give you a lot of credit on where your mindset is going to do what you about to go have to handle and doing with your music because you're setting yourself up not even close to being failure. You're setting yourself up to come out and just go right back to where you started, revamp. Yeah,
That,
and it's not even a game plan because of like honestly, like everything we've talked about behind the scenes. Anytime you text me or I know I'm not the easiest man to get a hold of, but even when we do, like your mindset already, especially with the music, you're gearing yourself up to go do what you got to do, handle your candle, and when you come out, it's gonna be right back
and
to game plan.
shout out to my team. I'm not gonna mention everybody in the team, but shout out to the team that's behind the scenes that none of y'all really know, because and some of y'all do know who's part of the team. You know what I mean? But they're the ones that are help actually pushing me too and keeping me going. They want to get their shit going, but they know my situation and what's about to happen. You know what I mean?
Do
And they're
you
pushing
think
that.
because of your situation and what's about to happen and them pushing you, it's making it a little bit more eased on your mind on what's about to happen?
Um,
Because honestly, bro, a lot of
it
people I know that would be doing it in your
it
situation,
does.
they're not that and I told on the way here, my ride on the way here, I said he sounds like he's perfectly fine. Like
You know, one of it is it's got to do with accepting your own what you know. You know what I mean? Your own responsibilities. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if you're okay with what you know, whatever the situation is, and you accepted it's gonna be an easier transition. Now you just got to focus on it. You
and
never be stressed on
I
that.
think that goes back to, you know what you did wrong, you know what you did and the niggas gotta start, you know,
You got to get past it.
yeah, not
If
even
you don't
that. You
get past
gotta
it,
you gotta accept it. You did it.
yeah,
Do what you do. Go handle it. God willing, they don't try to smack you over the fucking forehead with something, but you know, come home and get back to your candle. And that's why I said, like, you've been the most level headed person with your situation, bro. And I've never seen somebody so level headed. And you're dropping music and doing music like it's nothing, bro. People that would be in your situation ain't gonna be sitting here trying to do music. Ain't gonna be sitting here trying to do nothing but dwell on the situation and do the man. Why am I doing? Why do I got this? Why do I got this? Why do I got to go on vacation? Like, bro, you did something.
That's part of the life that you choose
Yeah, when you do it.
when you do it. You know what I mean? And that comes with everything that you got. You know what I mean? People don't people would think, oh, there's not. I'm not going to, or it won't happen to me. And when they get involved with certain shit,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But you know how people are how we're raised. You know what I mean? You know what the fuck you signed up for.
yeah,
You know what I mean? You know what you're getting yourself into. There's always that possibility. So from a young age, you got to accept what that is. You know what I
yeah,
mean? As much as you don't want it to happen, you want to be like, oh, it's not gonna
bro.
happen
I
to me.
mean, look who we. Not to fucking be a dick, or nothing, but we both. I wasn't too much older than you. My
What, you're
brother, I'm
35,
yeah, 35.
31?
Yeah. And so is
Couple
my
years.
little brother, like so, and it was me, you, and Nick that ran around those softball games and everything with your pops and my pops all the time. Like, and bro, even when I would come go to your guys' house in Wilmington to go see my Nino, and I used to love coming to see your mom, and then especially your sisters too. Like, bro, we going with Maddie back then. We didn't have the best role models to look at. I mean,
No, we didn't.
he's the best one. That one on your arm, bro. Me and T Bone talked about it. That was the most loving, most loyal. And
And you know what?
he showed me. He showed me how even if you're in that lifestyle and doing that type of shit, you ain't got to be that guy that thinks
Ah, bro, it's all about
I'm that.
respect,
Yeah,
bro. You get a next man respect, you'll get respect. But when it's time, it's time.
and
You know what I mean?
rest in
And
peace
and
to
and
your
rest in
cousin.
peace to Kui. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
My cousin Socorro. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
That's
That
my that
was
was that he's the first one that taught me that don't be even if you scared, bro, don't show it.
don't show it.
And even if you're gonna show it, bro, just make sure you show it around the right people, not the wrong people.
Exactly. And for people that know me and know how close me and Kui were, you know what I mean? That man was there for me for everything. You know what I mean? He I'm not gonna get too much into detail or private conversations and stuff we had, you know what I mean? But he tried to keep me away from a lot of the shit that was going on. But when he got word of what I was, you know what I mean, doing whatever, he didn't accept it. But he's like, if this is what you're gonna do, then make sure you go about
Because
it the
I
right
mean,
way.
but it's at the end of the day, like Mark. To be honest, you've been a kid since you were little. You can't tell you to do something you're not gonna do it.
I never
Remember,
like Slick says, bro.
look,
I don't listen to
here
nobody.
goes the perfect one. Remember when your pop stayed in Lakewood and I went and stayed the week? I stayed a whole week with you guys, and you came and I was there, and your dad told us do not take the bikes past the light. Nigga, we took them bikes past the light. Oh no, I'm okay. You're past the light. We're passing the light. We going to Arby's. We going to the hair
The
place. Like
Lakewood Mall.
yeah, Lakewood Mall.
We
Like
went everywhere,
yeah, it was.
and it
But
wasn't. I mean, you're not gonna stop me from venturing out, and
yeah,
that's the same. That's my same mindset with this music. I was actually, and to get back to it, like with that new track, I've been waiting. I was, I was very hesitant on doing that song, let alone dropping that song.
and you're honestly, bro, you would have been stupid if you didn't, because that's probably. And I'm not in not to discredit any of your other music or anything, bro, but that song is something that, especially with your situation again, and it going coming into summer, that was the best song you could have dropped because that's gonna be something people are playing, especially your cousin Slick. Like he's gonna
And
be playing that everywhere, bro,
he's the one.
and people are gonna get that name. Oh, where's Mr. Whoop at? And like we said before, peekaboo,
Yeah,
you'll be
exactly.
back.
I'll be back. It's just it's a minor setback for a major comeback. I mean, and that's one of the reasons why I did the song because I know I needed a song that was gonna make that type of noise. You know, what I mean that's gonna stay circulating for the amount of time. You know, whatever the vacation's
Yeah,
gonna be, but that everybody can listen to, not just the homies, not just the
that song
females.
was made
That
for
song was
that
made
made for,
for
and I give it to you like. And that's the same thing I told BJ. He has a song called Last Night. That shit hits from 60 all the way down to 12, 10.
Yeah.
That song you just made hits from. I showed Uncle David, and Uncle David was like, "Oh, I can party to this."
Yeah.
So bro, you gave them something different than what you haven't done, and again,
Well, that
a
too.
lot of people are scared to do shit like that.
Like that too. I have my mom in mind. You know what I mean? My mom doesn't like rap music.
Yeah,
She
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 never
won't.
has.
She will never play rap
I don't
music.
understand how Maddie ever played that. Blah, 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 blah.
She hated that
Yeah,
music too.
that shit was
When my
crazy.
brother listened to that heavy metal music, you know what I mean? But as much as me
That
and
wasn't
my
even
brother,
heavy metal. That was like death music.
well, death metal,
Yeah.
heavy metal, but as much as me and my brother don't get along and talk to now, you know, he's going back to the question that you asked me of who had an influence on my music choice. You know what I mean? If y'all know my brother, y'all know he was in a band. He did this. You know, he had his boy. And where was I? As much as my brother didn't want me around or be around him, I was around him. He didn't have no choice. Our parents made me be
Yeah, we
around
had to
him.
take you everywhere.
You know what I mean? And and you know, like I love my brother. Yeah, we don't see eye to eye. If he calls me today, I'll drop whatever I can to go do. You know what I mean? To do what I got to do. Yeah, he don't agree with some of my life choices and my way of life. You know what I mean? Which what older brother wouldn't?
I
And
mean,
which older sister wouldn't? You know,
mm.
what I mean, nobody wants to see what their relative or their brother or something go through what we going through right now. You know what I mean? Yeah, they could be embarrassed or whatever. That's cool. But I mean, I even hear shit now like coming from them where they laugh at the music that I do and whatever. And honestly, I don't think they laugh hating wise. I think or not. I'm not gonna say hating wise. I don't think they laugh.
You know what I think that if they're laughing what they're
I think it's
laughing about,
jealousy.
no, I don't even think it's that. I think it's they. We've known you've always had potential to be great at something,
No,
and you found it.
I know where you're going with it, and I honestly don't I don't think it's hating wise. I think it's jealousy wise on top of what you're saying. You know what I mean? Because
It might and it
now
it,
I'm
it might be and it might be hatred, but it might not be hating that you're doing music. It might be hating that I wish he would have found this outlet and started doing this before he
well
did
me and
anything
my
else.
brother had this conversation when we did before this situation and thing that's going on because we would talk a little bit here and there. You know what I mean? And it was always off and on with my brother. You know what I mean? As we got older, it was off and on, but he heard and seen the shit that we had going on, and he was like, "Well, if that's what you want to do, like, do it. You know what I mean? Do it. Go with it. You know, I got another cousin that does it that my brother hangs out with, but and my brother's like, you can link up with him, but I was already linking up with other people that were going in motion with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you
Like,
f- do you feel that you know?
and my sister Monique is one of my biggest supporters.
Oh yeah, she
She
sends me all your shit, but Kiki's a old lady in her head, man. She be sending it like 3 days, 4 days, 5 days later, and I'm like,
I already seen
Kiki,
it.
I got three Instagrams. I've seen that shit 5,000 times already.
Yeah.
Like it's wild, and but that's what's good, bro. Like you do have your family, and you do have family still there for you, and everything going
You know, like
even
I
through
got
it all.
family that loves it or
Yeah,
likes it because they see the positive
but I think
aspect
a
of it.
lot of them, especially your moms, and especially probably your brother too. They're probably, bro. The hatred probably is just like, damn, I wish he would have did this instead of that. But people don't understand. Like
Well, that and the
you
topic of
chose to
music.
be who you are, and you chose to be knowing
That and I think
the
it's just the
consequences.
topics of a lot of the
Yeah.
songs that I talk.
But
You know what I mean?
but again,
But
that's
that comes
something
with
you can't hate because they don't understand you lived it.
well, exactly, and that's something is like I got a
And I
story.
think that's what the hatred might be is hearing your stories and they're thinking like, oh shit, this is what he did. Like it
Yeah,
might
they don't know.
for
I
the most
kept a lot of that away from the
yeah,
family.
and it's, till this day, like my mom and them just barely found out some shit that I like some bad shit I'd done, and like my mom always like, and to this day they, oh, he's gonna end up doing, no, hell no, I'm not. But that's what it is. Like they get scared for you, especially you know, but they don't understand what we go through.
Yeah.
Just cause we live with them or they're our parents, and they say they know us so well. Like you don't know what we go through. You can't be inside my head.
Yep.
You can't walk in my shoes. What I've done and where I go. Like people think every time I leave my dad thinks every time I leave the house something's gonna happen to me. I'm like, bro, we can't live like that no more. Like
Yep.
I'm not gonna, and that's why I am the way I am. Like nobody, I'm very secluded. I don't talk to nobody. I hang out with the same three people besides you and my other group chat with my homies from when my homeboy Mike died and all my other brothers. Like you guys are the only ones I really like will keep in contact with or talk to because there's no reason for me to be out there no more. For me, I would just look at it as is like, especially living in the life you've lived, bro. Like, and you say like, what I want to be outside for, fool. Like, I don't want to. I don't want to end up in a situation that I can't control myself,
Yeah.
and that's where it gets bad. But how would you? What would you give before we head out and everything? One question I did want to ask: with your situation going on, all this music you're dropping, if you could see yourself at 8 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old, what advice would you give that Marco about doing music?
Don't let nothing distract you. Stay on point on what you believe that you could do, regardless of what everybody around you is saying. Oh, you can't do this or you can't do that. You don't see. Growing up, when people tell you that, they kill your dreams early. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
that's what a lot of people try to do. They try to kill your dreams early to try to think about reality now. But a dream is a dream, bro, and you got to strive for that dream. You know what I mean? You know, I would tell myself honestly, just stay doing what you're doing. If I would have knew at 8 years old I'd be where I'm at right now with this music, and I'm just barely making, you know what I mean? But if I knew music was gonna take the turn it did recently for the culture and for us, I'd probably be farther along where I'm at right now if I would have started recording and dropping music then. Because there are songs that I had back then that damn near talk about the same stuff I'm doing now
hmm
that or what I like or songs like I remember I have certain songs and I don't remember them like but I remember writing songs are like songs that I just dropped. Like I've been waiting and stuff like that. And
yeah,
I was writing that shit at 10, 11 years old. Like I didn't even know how to really treat a girl or
yeah.
you know what I mean? But
Well, you've always had a very particular mouth on you, bro. So
but
you really knew some fucking adult shit to say at a young
I mean
age.
you're right. But I mean that comes to being raised
Where we were raised,
well raised where we were raised, but
but I think
in
that
the
comes,
primary home of me growing up, I was around all girls.
and we both have parents that believed in, you know,
You
talking
know,
about this shit. And
and a lot of the dream killing comes from, well, what if that doesn't work out? Or what are you gonna do if that doesn't work out? Instead of sitting there and encouraging what you're doing, they're always trying to have a backup plan for you. They want you to have a backup plan.
which I can get that, but
It's
if you're gonna
understandable.
go in on something
Why
and
not back me up all the
like
way?
like like my grandma told me months before she died, you want to cook meal, you cook. You go get a job cooking. You want to do music and you want to do this other stuff, you do that. Chase your dream. Chasing dream was already made before she even told me that. But it just made me once she passed away, I was like, man, do I want to work for somebody the rest of my life, or do I want to work for myself?
And
And
me,
then
I've
that's
never
what
wanted.
pushed myself.
And me, I never wanted to work for nobody else.
Hmm.
That's what took me forever to want to try to have my own thing. You know what I mean? But did nobody want to help me?
Yeah.
And I couldn't get a job because of shit I was doing.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And like my older sister told me, she's like, I never understood why you always told us like it's not that easy. Like it's not that easy until some things happened. You know what I mean? And she's like, now I understand. Like,
Well, yeah, because you're, I mean, especially
but
the life you lived.
I've never wanted to work for the white man. No,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I never wanted to to do. I wanted to be my own. I always wanted to open my own business, whether it was
And to be
cooking.
honest with you, bro, not saying the white man, it's honest, bro, because to be honest with you, my best boss, bro, is shout out D and Bunsberger and Carmelita. Man, OG black dude from Compton. Best boss I've ever had, bro. He shot me everything. He's the reason why I can run this business, and I know I can run a food business and thrive because he gave me all the 1-2s, pointers, took me under his wing. At one point, motherfucker had me, damn near managing the truck, and he was just like, he would let me, hey, you want to do this event? You need help? I'm good. I got it.
Got this. And
Go ahead.
that's the mentality you have to have when you're opening your own business or whatever. Is you got this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's always gonna be
And you
somebody
tell
that
me all
wants
the
to be
time,
there.
especially when I'm fucking losing it, bro. And I appreciate that every time you tell me. Don't worry about these niggas. Don't worry about that shit. It's going.
Because nine
Especially
times out
my
of
my tooth surgery when you hit me. That shit was funny because I was like, he was like, buying Stepford for a big comeback. I was like, yeah, but no motherfucking tooth, nigga. Yeah, fuck.
you
But I
know,
got my tooth now, so fuck you.
but that comes to show like that who's gonna be there for you and who's not gonna be there for you.
Yeah,
Me and you know what it's like not to have somebody there or have the people that you want to be there for you. We know that, so why not give that back to the next person?
yeah,
Especially when
because
you see them
in
trying to
their
elevate.
heads when we were telling them what we wanted, it was a big fuck you and kind of they didn't believe we could do it and that's where again for the kids they need to understand like if you want to do this shit and you want to do it, don't let nobody tell you otherwise because bro, any basketball player, NBA player, any rapper you seen, they'll tell you them damn selves. There was fucking 9, 10 people behind them saying you can't do it.
Exactly, and growing up, I mean, you seen me growing up. You seen the athletic ability and stuff.
Yeah.
Did nobody?
Hell yeah, you play for you
Football was my sport. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And
You really did your shit.
a lot of people expected me to go farther than what I did. You know what I mean? And I expected myself to go farther. But there's life situations that happen, and I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about family situations that had a toll. You know what I mean? It had a big part on that.
That situation, yeah.
You think I wanted to walk away from football? No, football that's my first love. But with family situations and stuff that happen is the reason why I can only sit down and watch an NFL game for 30 minutes or a quarter. I don't watch football like that no more. And you would think, damn, this fool would be into stats and all that. No, bro, I can't sit there to watch it.
Yeah.
It brings up too many past memories that are like,
Still wounding.
fuck, yeah, like, man,
Mm.
fuck this sport. But I
Mm.
love it. You know what I mean? Football was my passion. That was my happy place. You know what I mean? That's what helped me
And I
escape.
think you finally found your happy
I found
place
another
for
happy
your
place that
situation.
that's equal.
Especially, you found this happy place under time of you're going through another what can be a traumatic situation to some people, to most people, but you found an outlet for that, and that's a blessing. Like how your mom told you, either you mean we can forgive everybody, but we don't forget a damn thing.
No, exactly. You know,
And
and
me and you've always been, even though you my younger cousin, we've always been connected, and our minds think the exact same motherfucking way. And you know, and I'm happy that you found music, bro. And I'm happy. I'm not happy you're gonna be gone, but I'm gonna be happy when you come back. And there's gonna be. I ain't stopping. So you think there's gonna be another Mr. Whoop interview?
oh yeah,
There's
for
gonna
sure.
be plenty of Mr. Whoop concerts, everything, because we ain't stopping until you come back.
And that's one of the future game plans and things for when I come home. You know what I mean? We'll talk about this when we're done with this, but when I come home, best believe I'm gonna have a show. I'm gonna tell you like that. Best believe I'm gonna have a show.
And we gonna make that shit knock. And we not gonna have it in the city. Because at the end of the day, this is the way I look at it.
Well, we uh,
You
I'm gonna
don't
do
have it
one.
in you don't do it in the city, but you invite the city. And then that's who you know. And that's why I tell my artists, that's who you know who really follows you and really supports you. Because if they can't make it 5-10 minutes down the 110 to come see you perform somewhere that's not 2 minutes or around the corner,
No, but that's where it's gonna test a lot of people too. Cause
yeah,
okay, yeah, you can't travel 10 minutes down the freeway, then you think, but no, that's what makes me want to do it in the city,
in the
in the hood, in the city or wherever at the new spot that they're building at that amphitheater. You know what I mean? Because if you can't drive down the street 30 seconds, you're not gonna drive 5-10 minutes.
no,
And when you,
exactly.
and if I do end up getting a bigger venue or something, or I'm not even gonna say if, when I do, because I'm gonna speak it in right now. I know this little vacation, I got a feeling, and I got people that tell me like, bro, people don't get recognition until they do a vacation or something like that,
What I tell you?
which is 100%
What I
true,
tell you?
which is
Lefty
100%
Gunplay
true.
is not famous if he didn't just get out of prison dropping music.
You know what I mean? And that's
And shout out to Negra because if Negra and Icon didn't put him on that show, Lefty Gunplay is not Lefty Gunplay.
yeah. So like I say, when I get to them bigger venues or whatever, it's don't think you gonna get love from me when I'm up there.
No.
It's a small crowd and a certain handful that I'm gonna pull up with me. But for the most part, if and I'm gonna say it like this, like I tell everybody else, right now, coming is your time to shine and get as far up that ladder as you can and get to where you want to and get to where and chase your dream like my cousin's record label. Because when I come home, I already cut the brake line on my car. There's no brake pedal for me right now, and I'm not. So just if that's where I'm at right now, imagine what I'm going. I'm dropping an album when I come home. I'm dropping an album. Period.
So before we head out, I want you, as not Mr. Whoop, as my little cousin Marco, and for the kids in Wilmington that will see this and you know are contemplating that other side of the jumping off the porch and doing that. What advice you give them, and what would you tell them if they are coming to you?
Them homies, you think you got homies that's around right now for fun and kicking it and hanging it? Not all. Be right there. 2 out of the 20, 30 that you got, maybe 5. And you're lucky if you get 5 by the time you get to where I'm at right now, because out of them 5, 2 to 3 of them is gonna die. So you're gonna be left with 2 or 3 of them. And one of out of those 2 or 3 that are left are gonna be playing both sides of the fence. They're gonna be cool with you, but they're not gonna be cool with you because the next person that they deal with, you know what I mean? They're gonna be a hater but a supporter, and they're just gonna be they're that person that's gonna get info to run and tell everybody else.
Yeah.
But then they're gonna be cool with you because they know you for a whole while. But they're not. They're not your homies. They're not your friends. You know what I mean? You're gonna have 1 or 2. Like I said, you're gonna have 1 or 2 that's gonna be around and proud of what you're doing. But save all that, save all that, and take all of that into consideration when you know who your friends are, who you think your friends are. You know what I mean? Because with that being said, it's gonna save you a lot of hurt and shit later. Like, man, nobody fuck with me or whatever.
Don't nobody care about me.
Yeah, you already know that.
And I think it's these kids need to understand gang banging is you see the grits, the glamour, the jewelry, the money, and it's fast. But at the end of the day, when you end up going to sit down and take these vacations, not too many of them friends are gonna be there calling you, making sure you okay, or damn near money in your books. And some of them might leave you hanging to get that ticket. So you guys got to be very aware of your surroundings and situations, and that's what this Back to the 900 is going to be more about when we get more deeper down the line.
Well, I mean that, and you got to think about it too. Like everybody, when you're growing up, you just want to have fun. You know what I mean?
We don't think of it. We didn't think of the consequences.
Fuck no, we didn't think about the consequences. But think about them. Think about how many how many of them friends is gonna be there later? You know, think about who's just there, or even now, like you, if you in high school and you listening to this, you know what I mean? Think about how many of them only invite you to go out to party, or to smoke or to drink. How
Or
many
to
of them
go
are,
do or go do something
or
stupid.
go do something stupid? How many of them are around when there ain't shit to do?
Or you're sober.
Yeah. How many of them are around? How many of them ask you, oh, let me borrow this, let me borrow this, I'm gonna pay you back, and they don't pay you back? Those are the ones you gotta keep an eye out for, because them the ones that's not gonna be around.
Well, cuz with that being said, Mr. Whoop 2300. It's a minor setback for a major motherfucking comeback. But, I love you, cousin. I appreciate you, letting me do this, especially with everything you got going on in the next couple of days. And I'm glad we were able to do this before you do got to go do that sit down.
Yeah,
Because this really needed to happen.
it's a pleasure to be on there. You know, what I mean, to be on this and have this conversation. Yeah, we have these conversations, but it's a pleasure to be doing it. You know, what I
Yeah.
mean, and linking up and lining up. But like you said, it's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
told you I
another.
was gonna come to you. You didn't believe me.
No, I believed you. I
Mhm.
know you,
Yeah.
so I know how hard it is to get you out here. There's a lot of shit, and I mean, I don't take it personal. Everybody's busy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm gonna support regardless. Even if we didn't get this interview, I'm gonna support. You know what I mean? And I'm
Oh,
gonna
we
do
was
what I
getting this
gotta do to
interview.
elevate.
We were getting this interview one way or another.
We gonna get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like that's what I'm saying though, is if we were gonna get it. If we didn't, let's get it. But like you said, there's gonna be a part two to this interview,
Yeah.
or three, four, and
Yeah.
five. You know what I
There's gonna
mean?
be many, and we got a mic drop that we about to shoot. You guys gonna get that.
Oh
But
yeah, for
until
sure.
then, Mr. Whoop 2300 on YouTube, iCloud, SoundCloud, Apple Music, and I
All the
got
major streaming
the
platforms.
unreleased music video. So you guys want to see that? You guys can see that on the Wake and Bake. But until
Oh
then,
well,
fuck you.
I'm gonna tell y'all straight up. I'm gonna tell y'all straight up. He's got them right now, but they'll be available for y'all soon.
Oh man, well, still fuck you. All right, man. Thank you.